My name is Siti Hidayah binti Husni and I will present the documentary about the flood with the SDG under Environment and Natural Resource Working Community Goals 13 Climate Action. A flood can be defined as any high water that dominates the natural or artificial banks in any parts of the river system. Therefore, when the river is overtopped, the water extends over the flood plants and generally become a hazard to the society. When the floods occur, it has terrible impact on the people as it disrupts their day and activities, and the impact can be last for weeks in the coming years. Climate change is likely to make the situation even more challenging to the society. The cause of the floods can be categorized by natural and non-natural. Local weather change is among the natural causes that trigger the floods to happen, while inefficient drainage system, pollution of drains, and the increase of the building number are the non-natural causes that trigger the floods to occur. A new report issued today by the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction shows that over the last 20 years, 90% of major disasters has been caused by the weather-related events. The weather change that become one of the reasons the floods occur is northeast monsoon rain. The northeast states such as Terengganu, Pahang, and Kelantan always receive heavy rainfalls during northeast monsoon, occur between October until March and leads to the severest floods almost every year. Terengganu and Kelantan never miss a flooding event, especially during the months of November and December during the northeast monsoons. The floods occur due to the combination of physical factors such as elevation and also its close proximity to the sea apart from the heavy rainfalls received during the monsoon period. The poor drainage system also be one of the causes why the floods happen. Inefficient drainage system make the flow of the rain not fast, hence the rainwater start to become floods because of the overflow of the drainage system. Besides, the pollution in the drainage, which is the rubbish, also one of the reasons why the floods occur during the heavy rainfalls. It is because the rubbish in the drain has blocked the path of the water to be flowed to the source of the drainage. Hence, the water start to overflow from the drain of the residential area. Indeed, the flood disaster expected to keep rising in line with the increase of migration from the rural residents to the city change in the structure of soil which caused by the uncontrolled development, poverty, and the other factors that threaten the floodplains area. The immediate impact of flooding include loss of human life, damage to property, disruption of crops, loss of livestock, non-functioning of infrastructure facilities, and deterioration of health conditions owing to waterborne disease. Damage to infrastructure also cause a long-term impact such as disruption to clean water and electricity, transportation, communication, education, and healthcare. The additional cost of rehabilitation, relocation of people, and removal of property from the flood-affected area can be divert capital required for maintaining production. Various solutions in prevention or mitigation of flood has been executed in order to avoid and reduce the destruction and loss of properties, death, and spreading of infection disease. These flood prevention are the actions including engineering and non-engineering measures carried out to protect the area identified as flood area. There are several engineering solutions that can take measures such as in urban areas such as towns and cities, drain also maintains and improves, especially monsoon drain in frequently flooded areas. Another solution is the construction of the relief channel of frequently flooded location. This channel can be closed at normal flow and open during the high flow to siphon off a substantial amount of discharge elsewhere. Relief channel allow excess water to be drained away, thus averting the floods occur. Another engineering solution is the construction of the temporary retention ponds along commonly flooded rivers. Low-lying areas along the rivers are usually converted into the retention pond, which siphon off excess discharge during the high flows. This reducing the probability of the floods. During the normal time, the retention ponds are used as a playing field or the maintained as scenic shallow lakes for the recreation, which also contribute to the aesthetic aspect of the river corridors. Retention ponds are also put to commercial use when the fish are reared in them, or they can be used as a lake for the recreational activities. Often permanent retention ponds are built. Because of this, temporary retention ponds are converted to permanent ones through the engineering means. In highly flood-prone areas, water pumps are installed at strategic points along a river stretch. These pumps can be activated either manually or automatically when the river rises to a certain predetermined critical levels. In critical localities such as large urban centers, which act as administrative and commercial center, permanent pump houses are constructed at the strategic location. Such pump houses are connected to the pipes which drain directly into the sea. Finally, the embankments are another popular engineering solution. They are usually constructed on the low-lying stretches of the major rivers to protect the adjacent floodplain from being flooded. Often, as it is the case, many floodplains have a lower elevation compared to the river level. This is because regular flooding has built up natural levees on both banks of the river. Over a long period, the river level is actually higher than the floodplain. When the natural levees break or when the river overflows its bank, the flooding can be devastating. Given the weakness of the natural levees, concrete embankments or artificial levees must be constructed on the both banks to stop breakage and flooding. Besides engineering solution, non-engineering solution also can be taken, which is educational programs can be adapted to schools where the children can be drilled and conditioned towards effective response. Having a flood drill is not unlike having a fire drill. Children should be told that flooding is not a carnival time and the playing in the muddy floods water can be extremely dangerous as one cannot see submerged drains and wells. Often children are drowned when they carelessly step into a traps. Besides, research and development in the area of flood forecasting and warning system also needs to be stepped up. State-of-the-art technology in flood forecasting in many developed countries is based on the real-time satellite, weather data, and radar rainfall data as input in computer modeling. This has not been utilized by the local authorities involved in flood forecasting. Data from the telemetric rainfall station are currently being used, but such data depend on the rainfall reaching the telemetric rain gauge which is on the ground, which is often too late in rapid responding urban catchment for any useful warning to be issued. The public should be more aware of the warning system and should be told to respond effectively to such a system. Even the most sophisticated warning system would be a little use if the flood victims did not heed the warnings. Flood awareness, preparedness warning, and evacuation programs must be aired regularly on the television, especially just before the rainy seasons, to educate the public and teach them how to respond effectively to the floods. Flooding occurs periodically in Malaysia and has become a common occurrence. This annual occurrence of flood has given a big impact on the life of human and other living beings. Due to negative impact of floods, the attention and alternative ways are taken seriously to reduce this disaster. The usage of technologies for managing the flood is used to facilitate human work and lead more effective and efficient problem solving. The role of the communities affected by the flood is no less important. Their awareness and readiness in facing the flood disaster are indispensable so that the negative impact result from the disaster can be minimized. Therefore, the community should be educated to improve their awareness regarding the flood management, especially on how and what to prepare for flood as well as how to react during the floods. Flood management in Malaysia involves 4 phases, which are prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery. Flood management requires integration efforts of all the responsible bodies so that all the flood management phases could be addressed equally.